WNAA 90.1 The Voice. We're here on this post-Thanksgiving show with Brad Brooks.
What's up, bro?
Wanye Davis.
What's poppin'?
I'm your boy Javon Hubbard, and this is 3rd and 30. How was you guys' Thanksgiving, man?
It was good, man. I enjoyed myself, bro. Ate good, bro.
For
Can't
sure,
complain.
man. Yeah, I put a couple pounds on, man. What
Man,
about
it
you?
was good, man. I had to eat pretty quick. I had to be at work at 4:30 for the madness at Best Buy, but it was all right,
Yeah.
though.
You ain't
Sure,
miss
for
nothing but
sure.
them Cowboys getting beat.
Oh, yeah, nah, it was good.
Shit,
That's always a good
we gonna
Thanksgiving.
get to that. We're gonna get to that. First and foremost, man, this college football playoff, man. I don't know what in the world is going on right now.
Crazy.
This committee is
Chaotic.
really gonna have to make some tough decisions.
sure.
How do you guys feel right now about
It is
what's going on?
chaotic, bro. It is crazy. First and foremost, bro, I did not know the Iron Bowl was gonna unfold like that. I didn't like. Well, I'm not gonna say I didn't like the game. I really enjoyed the game, but watching the game, Alabama was playing not to lose, and Auburn was playing to win. If you were watching the game, we saw Alabama get one-dimensional. They were running the football, but they never mixed things up like last year when they had Lane Kiffin. We didn't really see much of, Jalen Hurts passing the football. They were really just using him like a running back, so that was something I didn't really like. And at the same time, I learned an interesting stat. Nick Saban is 0-7 versus Auburn teams that have 9+ wins.
Yeah.
Wow.
So that goes to show you that, when Auburn is like, on track, for contention for that title, they always do ball out. But I really enjoyed the Iron Bowl. I did not see Miami losing to Pittsburgh.
No one saw that.
That's a conference game. Like we say, every week you got to come to play. But that conference game, when they lost to Pitt, that was crazy. Turnover chain became the L chain.
Yes, sir.
So I know that made the chaos. I mean, I know that made so much chaos with the college football playoff.
Right.
I think now that obviously Miami and Alabama losing, this year the conference championships mean more than they ever have. Clemson plays Miami, obviously in the ACC championship. Miami could sneak back in with a win against Clemson. Oklahoma plays TCU. Oklahoma, if they lose, can get knocked out. Wisconsin plays Ohio State. Ohio State maybe could creep back in.
I think they're done, bro.
I think they're done too, but I mean,
Yeah.
we don't know how it's all going to play out.
that's
If
true.
a few of them lose, then and everyone in this top 4 right now, I have Clemson number 1, Oklahoma 2, Wisconsin 3, and Auburn 4, and then I have Alabama 5, and then UGA 6.
Okay.
Alabama can sneak back in if someone loses.
Man,
There's so many different scenarios.
See, the thing with Alabama, the way I think all 4 teams that you listed is right. But when Tuesday afternoon when those rankings come out, I feel like what Auburn has done on their resume, they have beaten the number 1 team twice this season. That's going to segue them either to 1 or 2. So
But
Clemson
they had 2 losses though.
But look though, I'm saying those 2 losses can be forgiven. They lost to a Clemson team at a time early in the season. You really weren't themselves. It really wasn't a bad game. It was just the fact Jared Stidham was getting sacked. And even this past week, Jared Stidham showed he's a tough dude.
But even when they lost
He's
to
a tough
LSU,
dude.
and LSU lost to Troy on their homecoming.
But
LSU has been a horrible team. Not horrible, but
that resume beating Alabama and number 1 Georgia, I think that that just scratch off
and this
their
is
resume.
what we spoke. And this is
Because-
exactly what we spoke on a couple weeks ago. We were
Yeah.
like, if they beat both of these teams, they would get in the top
Think
4.
about this. Think about this.
Yeah, we didn't even think it was going to
I'm
happen.
looking at the playoff scenario like this. Whoever wins the SEC championship game,
Absolutely
this is
goes.
that's the whoever wins that,
That's a
that's
deciding
going.
factor.
I
Of course.
think Georgia. I don't want to their one loss is so much worse compared to Alabama. Alabama kept the game close with Auburn, but the thing is, Georgia's getting another shot of redemption. Alabama doesn't. If you really break down Alabama's schedule, their strength of schedule is not that good.
It's
Even
not,
though they schedule Florida State beginning of the season coming in number 2.
Right.
Florida State has 6 losses on the season.
But they
have
lost their star quarterback. Though.
I granted, but it's just like looking at the win now, it's not as good as what it would
I think
have
it's
been.
I think it's still a good win because if you lose your star quarterback, of course your team is going to plummet.
But
of
still,
course
though,
it is.
it's
I mean,
just
that's
like
something
at
that
the
the
time-
committee has to think about too. To start.
It's just. I feel like sometimes they take into they say they don't look at the game when it was played.
Right.
They look at
Right.
let's see how this team turned
It's
out.
a
Yeah, you can do that
situational- it's
sometimes,
situational.
but it's not like they had the same team the entire year. They
Yeah.
lost their star quarterback.
And I agree with that, but it's almost like the same situation as Ohio State last year. Ohio State last year they had an early loss in the season. They lost to, I want to say, Penn State or Michigan State in the regular season. But it's like the way their season unfolded, how they were able to cap off a win against Michigan, that just segued them to another point. They just lifted them. So I'm looking at a team like Ohio State, even though they do have the possibility of knocking off Wisconsin and winning their title game. I don't think it's enough because looking at their resume, they've gotten blown out by Iowa. I feel like if you have any blowout and don't have a shot of redemption, you really can't make it to the playoff.
So you're 6, you're four really, and then what's your 4? You think?
If I 4, like I said, I'm going 1, 2 is either Clemson, Auburn,
Right.
then Oklahoma, of course. Wisconsin is basically you win. the Big Ten championship you're in. That's
You're
my
in,
4,
okay.
and then my 2 bubble teams are basically Georgia and Miami.
So not Alabama.
Alabama, they still have the chance.
No,
but
so they're not a bubble team.
Alabama's that would be 7 for me. I think
bold.
I think
That's a bold
Alabama will be
prediction.
over Ohio State. But at the same time, though, it's like Bama. They need chaos to happen this Saturday with championship week. They need TCU to knock off Oklahoma.
That's all,
they need Ohio State to
in my
knock
opinion,
off,
that's all
Wisconsin.
that they need. Because so my top 6 is obviously Clemson, Oklahoma, Wisconsin, Auburn, Alabama 5, and UGA 6. If TCU knocks off Oklahoma, TCU's way too far for them to hop in, even if they beat Wisconsin. If they beat Oklahoma, if that happening, Oklahoma getting out. I feel like whoever wins the SEC, they're obviously in.
Yeah, they're
and
locked.
that open spot will go to Alabama. I don't see anyone else taking that spot.
Yeah, I think Alabama would have to
TCU
take that open spot. They would have to.
Because they're 11-1, and they're Alabama.
It's going to come down to them at Ohio State. I definitely feel what you're saying. If it came down to
So you think Ohio State, if they win, they would get it over
Bama just because how I mentioned Bama's resume. That's the only thing. That's
True.
why I'm saying
The type of
Bama
wins.
really needs TCU to knock off Oklahoma as well.
So do you
But if
think,
you look
think
at
the wins weigh heavier, or do you think the losses will?
Yeah,
weigh
what-
For
heavier?
Ohio State, I
Yeah.
think for Ohio State, it's going to be the wins that weigh heavy. That criteria
I
of
don't
picking
know.
a Big Ten champ or a conference champion,
Yeah.
and then also the criteria that you were able to beat your rival. We seen all Alabama face
But
their
they were
rival.
they were unranked though. Michigan was unranked.
They were ranked, weren't they?
No, they weren't ranked.
Okay, so
They weren't
we're
ranked.
but at the same time though, it's still like I said, the strength of schedule for Bama. Even though they did schedule Florida State, how they finish.
But I
Because
feel like
sometimes
getting-
not about how you start, it's about how you finish.
But I
How
feel
Florida
like
State
getting
finished
through
the
the
season.
SEC, obviously until the last game, going against the number 5 team in the country, Auburn was, and if you at Oklahoma, I mean not Oklahoma, but Ohio State lost to Oklahoma at home. Kind of got beat pretty bad, and then got blown out by Iowa. I don't see that 2-loss team getting in over a Bama team with 1 loss to the top 5
I
team.
mean, it's gonna be interesting to see one. Yeah,
But, I mean, yeah, we don't know. We don't know how to
Either way,
It's just-
this year is gonna be so different. Like the committee
is.
never picked a 2-loss team. They've never
Yeah.
picked a team that
Right.
has they've never picked 2 teams in the same conference. So we can all see that this is all new this year that we can see.
It's gonna be
That's
wild.
good. We're gonna move ahead, guys. As you can tell, that college football gets a little heated
Yeah,
between
man,
Grand
it's
Brooks
cha-
and Miami.
Sure.
It's chaos.
I tend to let y'all just go. I
It's
tend to let
wild.
y'all go because
It's
it gets wild right there.
It's wild.
But moving on to college basketball, guys. Duke is obviously the biggest
Oh,
story
my
out right
goodness.
now. Bagley is balling.
Hey, bro.
How do you guys? Is Duke real? I mean, because they've had some close games, where they've had to come back from 17-point deficits.
Is there a middle
Things like
finger
that.
emoji?
I
yet?
mean,
I can't stand
Honestly.
Duke. I can't
of
stand
course,
Duke.
I got the
Hooping,
Carolina shirt on right now,
Let
man.
me see
it.
So
You
does
already
our videographer back there. I mean, we have the Carolina stuff. Me and Brad,
Yeah.
you know how we're
And
rocking.
yeah.
And one, oh yeah, and one,
Yeah,
of course.
you
This how we all
It's,
agree on.
it's Luke May City over here, man. I love that man, Luke May.
But Duke is
they
balling.
are balling,
Talk
man.
to
So,
me, yeah.
Man,
what do you think, yeah?
Marvin Bagley is in his bag this year.
Bro,
No
Now
pun
that-
intended.
No,
Say it
no.
again. Say it
Marvin
again.
Bagley is in his bag. This dude is NBA ready. If they could go straight from high school, he would have been the number
He
1
would've
pick.
been left.
Mm.
Yeah.
This dude is ridiculous.
Yeah.
I'm not in favor of Duke going far and making a championship run. I mean, they will make a run, but as far as getting to the Final Four, I'm not sure because with those young teams, it's hard playing in those tournament games.
Yeah.
It's hard because you're
That's one
week
sport
in and
that
week,
experience matters.
especially against Duke,
Right.
a team who already has a target on their back, and then for them to be a high seed like we all expect them to be,
Right.
that's gonna be hard for them to do it. But man, they look good this
Yeah,
year,
like
and it hurts. And Grayson Allen had that great game against Michigan State in the opener.
And you think
It looks scary.
is the only way up from here? Like I said,
Honestly.
I want to mention again the close losses. I mean, the close wins.
Yeah,
They had
Texas.
that, yeah, and
Over the
exactly,
weekend,
exactly.
Texas.
So I mean,
what was it? Portland State.
Portland
Yeah.
State was one that was like, and they were,
Exactly.
going neck for neck with them. So
Absolutely.
But I do want to say this, or how you say, Marvin Bagley, if the draft happened today, like he's number 1.
If the draft happened a year ago, today, 6 months.
I haven't seen a dude this NBA ready at Duke since Jabari Parker.
Yeah.
I don't know if that's a fair comparison, but the way he's just
And he's
poised
better
as
after.
a freshman,
Yeah.
his just his composure, how he just stays like. Oh, we down.
I mean, he plays like he's been around the game for
They came
years.
down
Like,
from
he's
17.
a veteran.
This past weekend from Florida,
Yep.
they came down 17.
17.
And, he just kept them in the game. And I think, I want to say, it was a stat thrown out there. I want to say like ever since like Kevin Durant and Michael Beasley, that's some good company.
Wow.
He's like the only freshman to have multiple 30-point games this
Yes.
early on in the season.
Wow.
So
This man is
kudos to him,
ridiculous.
bro. He's hooping right now,
This
bro.
man's ridiculous. Unfortunately,
For
that
sure.
Michael Porter Jr. injury.
Yeah.
That's so-
yeah.
That's a
That
big
is
Which is a
blow.
knock, you know, he was one of the stars coming out. He was
Yeah.
supposed to lead the team as well.
I mean, he'll
So,
still be a
but
top
I
3
think they'll be
pick.
fine. Yeah.
He'll still be a top 3 pick at the end of the day.
I want to also mention before we move on that Colin Sexton game where he dropped 40 with 3 players.
Not 5.
Not 5, not 4, 3 players. The whole team dropped off except for 3 people, and he
He was in
still
his
dropped off.
bag.
And you know, they were down by a lot
Yeah, they
when
were.
all the people went out.
They
They only
were.
lost by 5.
Yeah,
So
he
it's
was a
like, I
hooper.
mean, come on. Like, Colin
He's a
Sexton
hooper.
is the truth. He was one of the
Lottery
people, like you
pick.
said, that you watched coming out of high school that you were really interested in. And yeah, he's looking forward. I think he's going to be
And
great.
then Wade shouted him out too.
Mhm.
And Wade was like, bro, he's a dog.
So yeah, even the NBA people already who are professional already know the talent that's coming.
They got some good players
For
coming
sure.
up.
So moving on to NFL, man. It's been a crazy week in NFL. I want to go ahead and say, man, look, first of all, we're going to go ahead and get Philly out of the way.
You already
Philly
know.
is still rolling, man. My
Still
Saints
rolling.
dropped one. It's cool, though. It's cool.
Trying
We're
to tell you.
going to go through these games and talk about it, but it's
Yeah.
cool. But the post-Zeke era, man, for the Cowboys, how do you guys feel about that right now? I mean, not era, but the post-Zeke
Yeah.
games, you
Yeah,
know,
for
which
sure.
seems like an era almost
Honestly.
because, I mean, it looked like 2 different teams, you know, where they were then and where
Yeah.
they and how they are now. They don't have a passing game.
Not
you know,
scoring.
they're not scoring 10
Well,
points over the last 3 games.
Exactly.
Which Dak Prescott joins company like Zach Mettenberger and some other. I can't think some other people, but it was some other people as well who had only had 3 games play where they were starters and scored only 10 points at the quarterback position.
Yeah.
That's terrible company.
I mean, it's showing why although Dak Prescott had a brilliant rookie season, it's showing why he's a 4th-round pick. Why he was a 4th-round pick. Him, I hate to throw your ball out there, but Cam Newton. Certain quarterbacks have to have a running game in order to be successful. Dak Prescott is not a guy who can put the team on his back and carry them to a win, and that's okay. Like not everyone. That's only a certain amount of quarterbacks. That's only probably 5, maybe 7 quarterbacks who can do this in this league.
Right.
So he's showing that, and them not having a defense, Dez not being the same Dez, not really having many weapons.
at all.
Jason Witten is he's
Yeah.
too old. He was. I mean, he had his years with Tony, but he's washed up now. They just don't have any spark, and without Zeke, without having that running game going, without those big chunk plays in the running game, they can't really set up the play action. They don't have another threat, so the entire defense is focused on the passing game, and it's just not working out
I'm
for them.
rocking with that. I feel what you say. You know, some quarterbacks do need that, assistant running game.
Yeah.
Something that balances them out. But the thing is, though, I don't think, well, I'm not going to say Zeke is the most important factor for the Cowboys. He
Absolutely.
makes that team go. Like I said a couple weeks ago, he's the engine that keeps that train running.
Mhm.
But at the same time, we got to factor in this was a team missing their left tackle for a good amount of the
Right.
season. They were
Right.
missing Tyrone Smith. That defense is young, especially that secondary where they have been getting beat up.
Right.
So it's like I still want to keep that faith in Dak that maybe it's gonna be hard.
Right.
They still gotta face Redskins and division rival. Still gotta see the Eagles one more time. It's gonna be hard, this last stretch of the season. But I really do want to keep that faith in Dak. But like Wanye said, Zeke is the most important factor in that team.
And
They're
the-
hurting right
And
now.
the thing that's weird about it is looking at the stats, they're still averaging 99 yards on the ground. So Rod Smith and Alfred Morris together as a cohesive unit are still getting right around 100 yards on the ground. But the thing about Zeke is that he brings to the table things that stats don't even show.
Yeah.
He has to be accounted for. It's certain plays where you think Zeke's getting the ball and he's not, and then that opens up Cole Beasley. That opens up a touchdown to Jason Witten or things
Yeah.
like that. And so now that the running back, that star running back doesn't have to really be accounted for like that.
Exactly.
Well, all we got to do is focus on the pass now. Their running game's really not going to do anything, right? And that really closes down their offense, and it's been proven. 10 points a game over the last 3 games is
And
terrible.
the running game also keeps the defense off the field as well.
Exactly.
And like we
Takes
said,
time
their
off the
defense
clock.
It's not great.
isn't that good, and that's why they've been getting beat up.
So we'll run through these games starting with Thursday. The triple header on Thursday. Vikings getting it done against Detroit, 30-23.
Yeah, them boys. I mean, the Vikings. Their defense is elite. Their defense is ridiculous. Case Keenum is making plays when they need him to make plays. They got
Against
little bit
another
of a
good
running game.
defense, though.
Another
Detroit
good
is another
defense.
good
Another good
defense. So
Yeah,
in case Keenum
He's-
is proven that he needs to be
Minnesota's waking
starter.
people up, bro. They're
Minnesota.
letting people know
Yeah,
when we get to the
yeah.
playoff, we're not going to
Minnesota,
be no
in my
pushover.
opinion, is the second biggest threat to the Eagles behind the Rams. In my opinion.
I'm asleep.
In
But
my
anyway,
opinion.
Chargers, like we talked about, Cowboys not
Hey.
getting it done, 28-6.
I want to go on the record. I know me and you were, debating about this. We're going to mention Alex Smith here in a minute. But I think, for San Diego, a team that started 0-4 at the beginning of the season, they've been having a heck of a season,
And
man.
they're
That
putting
second
it
half,
together.
5-6 right now.
Yeah.
I think this last stretch, bro, in the for the NFL, I think they're gonna have a chance to close out, win the AFC West, and make a playoff run. I
Yeah.
really think the way they're looking, that defensive line tandem of Joey Bosa and Melvin Ingram, that's the best in the league that goes unnoticed. So I really like Los Angeles. I wanted to say San Diego, but Los Angeles Chargers.
Right, there you go.
Los Angeles.
And then the Redskins getting it done, obviously against that team that's falling apart,
Yeah,
Giants.
the
So
Giants
that doesn't
are
even
hot
need to be
mess.
spoke about. Keeping it moving. Bills 16-10 against that. Like we spoke about Alex Smith. So talking about Alex Smith really quick. How you guys feel about that? Do they need to move on? Do you stick with Alex Smith? What do you think, Wanye?
I mean, I say you stick with Alex Smith. Right now, you're still in the playoff picture. You're still leading your division right now. And, you benching him for rookie Patrick Mahomes for what? Like, do you think you're going to get better with him? I don't think so.
I don't think so either.
It's just about getting that running game going. They got to get some more passes down the field. They haven't really been able. Tyreek Hill hasn't really been able to get going. They got to get those boys rolling. But they're keeping it above float. But like you said, I think the Chargers are coming for them. I think the Chargers are going to knock them out.
Similar to the Cowboys, like we said, there's other factors.
Yeah.
But I want to say on the record, stop watering dead plants. I like Alex
Wow.
Smith.
Yeah.
I think,
Wow.
Alex Smith, we know, we are accustomed to knowing what we're going to get out of Alex Smith.
Right.
They throw that game manager out there, and so many people looking at that as, that's a bad term, which is really isn't. He's a dude that can control the game. He does have the talent to push the ball downfield, but he really doesn't. That's not in his nature. And it's like now, even though they're 6-5, still top of the AFC West, I think, it's almost like the Houston situation. Tom Savage, they came into the season and said, this is our starter. We're not going to pressure and put Deshaun Watson in the lineup, force that. And it's like, first game, Tom Savage didn't even make any turnovers. He was just getting sacked a bit. And, he really wasn't making anything go with that offense. So it's just like, let's throw Deshaun Watson out there. Let's see what we got.
So you think Patrick Mahomes is Deshaun
I
Watson?
don't think he's the answer, and I'm not comparing him.
Okay.
I'm just saying, you invested in this dude. You traded up to get him.
Yeah.
And it's like I said, stop watering dead plants. We know what we're going to get out of Alex Smith. You guys were already pushing him out the door. So let's see what we got in the rookie. Let's just go ahead and
I
think
think you
Alex
keep
Smith-
him for the year, though.
Yeah, I think
for the rest of the year.
I think like you said, I think a time that you're making a playoff push is not the time to switch a quarterback.
Yeah,
especially
no.
not a rookie quarterback. Somebody who doesn't have the experience. He played great in the preseason. Whatever. Look. Over the past 5 weeks, Kareem Hunt has rushed for the first 4. Let's do the first 4 weeks.
He dropped down.
Right. Okay. 609 yards, 4 touchdowns, and 6.3 yards per carry. That was the first 5 weeks when they were coming out shooting. Shooting with teams. They handled the Eagles. They handled the Patriots. I wouldn't say handle.
I wouldn't say handle.
So they started off 5-0.
Right. Exactly. But the thing is, since then, he's had 281 yards over 6 games. 3.3 yards per carry and no touchdowns. Okay, so it's not just Alex Smith. Let's not act like Alex Smith isn't a system quarterback. Like you said, you know what you're going to get with Alex Smith. He's a very straightforward type of guy. It's going to be 200 yards, 200 or less, and maybe 2 touchdowns. Okay, that's just what you are going to get from him. But the thing about it is, for this year, he's had, this is from Bucky Brooks. I saw it on Twitter. He's had 68%. He's had a 68 completion percentage all year, okay? He's had 19-4 ratio. He's had 105.5 passer rating. And he's at average 7.5 yards per attempt. So that doesn't look like, to me, somebody who needs to be benched for a rookie quarterback. So I think you keep him and you see what he can do moving forward. Like I said, this is the same guy who beat the Patriots. This is the same guy who beat the Eagles. That's a one-loss team, the best team in the NFL. So you keep him in, they'll get it right.
They got to get it going, though, faster. That AFC West is getting tight.
It's definitely getting tight. I definitely feel like you stick with them. As far I'm looking at their schedule right now, you got to play at New York, at the Jets. That's a pretty easy win.
Yeah, I think that's
you got to go against the Raiders, who are a mess. Then you got the Chargers at home, so that plays into their favor.
That's the only fight they have.
And then they have to play. Then they have to play the Dolphins, and they have to play at the Broncos to finish up the season. All those teams, a lot of those teams are still trying to make playoff runs. So you don't want to put a rookie quarterback in when the team's putting all they got. I say you stick
and I
with
think Alex Smith gets it together. I think they end 10-6 if you ask me. I think they can win out the rest of the year. But keeping it moving, the Titans getting it done 20-16 against the Colts. The Browns. We'll keep it moving. That's why I just kept going.
Hey, AFC South, somebody got to go.
Right.
Somebody got to go.
That's why I kept going. The Bengals getting it done 30-16 against the Browns. You already know what that is.
And also, I don't know if y'all saw this. They said Cleveland was officially eliminated at the playoff. They're 0-11 now.
Yeah.
But it's like, honestly, Their season, they were officially at the playoff when the season started. Let's acknowledge that.
Yeah.
So,
Season started.
yeah.
Man.
Yeah, it's been a while for them. I think the last couple of years they've been officially like,
Yeah,
we can go ahead and
we can go ahead and rule them out.
Right, all right.
But
So
Josh Gordon is coming back next week.
Shout out Flash
yeah.
Gordon, man.
the Falcons
Niggas
continue
fuck.
to make their playoff push. I'm 34-20 against the Buccaneers.
Julio.
Yes, sir.
Julio.
Yeah,
Dirty Bird's like
waking up.
Julio.
Yeah. The Patriots chugging along 35-17 against the Dolphins.
Tom Brady played well.
He did. The Eagles. There you
Quarterback.
go.
Better
But no,
finish.
I
Don't
mean,
get there and choke.
They are having a great season.
Not gonna be funny
Against
if
that
you get there
Bears
and lose.
defense, 31-3. I think they're definitely playing well. They're clicking on all cylinders. I don't really like all the antics. I like the celebrations and all that stuff.
Some
But I
pregame
didn't really
dances
like, I didn't really
going
like the
on,
electric
some-
slide. And all.
Yeah.
I don't like that, man. It's just 10-1. You could still lose out and go 10-6.
But you know what happens when you start winning.
Yeah,
you know it
you
goes
get a
to your
little
head. I mean,
hot,
it's
And I like
it's
it.
inevitable.
And I like it in their young squad. You know, Doug Peterson is a player's coach, so I like it. I like the vibe in Philadelphia. I like
One
it.
thing I can say about you guys is I do love how you guys are, making use of those 3 starter caliber running backs that you guys have.
Honestly.
And I can't even lie. I mean, Clement is doing great. Of course, Jay Ajayi, my boy. I love Jay Ajayi. I mean, and they look great together. They really do. The offense it's too much offense.
It's a lot
you
of
don't know, they
Best
can hit you
offense in
from
the
every
league.
angle, honestly, and this it's looking great. Moving forward, Brad's Panthers, man, getting it done against the Jets 35-27.
Hey, man, keep pounding, man. Hey, they're making a fight to win that NFC
keep
South.
Sure,
pounding.
yeah. So we're tied
But
now,
even
obviously
that-
8-3.
But that NFC South is a dogfight. Not with just us. The Atlanta Falcons. I know
That's
we
what
just
I'm saying. They're
skipped
7-4. They're right behind us.
7-4.
So
They were
Honestly,
just
all
4-4.
three of those teams, the Saints, Vikings. I mean, not just the Vikings. The Saints, Falcons, and the Panthers probably all make the playoffs. Honestly,
yeah.
I think so.
And then, so Seahawks getting it done, obviously, against the 49ers. Jimmy Garoppolo, though, throwing that touchdown at the end of the game. So,
He made his
moving
debut.
forward, C.J. Beathard getting hurt. So, we're going to see what he does moving forward. I mean, obviously nothing, as
Yeah,
far
yeah.
as playoff run. But it would be nice to see him in that system to see how that works moving forward. So,
Absolutely.
Saints, all right, man. We dropped the game, man, against the
Yeah,
Rams.
man.
Dropped us down to 8-3, man. We went 8 straight, but it stopped there. I blame it on the defense, man. Our defense wasn't all healthy. We weren't all there. We lost both of our starting cornerbacks, but hopefully we'll have them back. And one thing about the Saints is they're very tight-lipped about our injuries. They don't really speak about it until right before the
Exactly.
game. So we'll see moving forward what we can do. The Jaguars losing 1 to the Cardinals, 27-24.
That's a bad loss.
Yeah, that
That's
was
a bad loss.
for sure. The Raiders getting it done 21-14 against the Broncos, and then the Pack.
Got his chain snatched again. Come on, Cratch.
Yeah, you want to say something about
Come on,
that
Cratch.
fight, right?
Stop getting your chain
All I
snatched.
gotta
Part
say
2.
is, man, Talib know how to get under people's
He
skins.
know how
Yeah.
to get it.
He know how to get under people's skins. That's all I gotta say.
Hey,
but it
man,
was stupid though. Like
This is
it was
completely
real
unrelated to
stupid.
football, man. But if that haymaker would have landed, man, I'm gonna
Oh,
tell you
man.
right now, he would have been on the ground.
Yeah, he would have been bleeding. He would have looked.
He would have knocked him out. That haymaker looked real crazy
It
coming
would have
out.
looked real ugly, man.
And then the Steelers, like we talked about the Steelers before,
Man.
chugging along, man. And
This
but,
man, Antonio Brown,
Yeah.
proved why he is the best receiver.
yeah,
He's the best receiver in the league, man. Some people
I
want to
don't-
say Julio, but this
Yeah.
man, AB, like I told
pound for
Brad
pound,
yesterday,
man. Pound for pound. Yeah.
week in and week out,
Yeah.
this man, AB, is going to give you at least 5 catches for 70 yards, at least. And that man had 10 catches for, I believe, 180.
You talking about AB?
Yeah,
AB had 140.
140 and a touchdown.
Yep.
This
And
man,
then
AB
shout out to
makes
Brett Hundley
plays.
though, playing up to his competition.
Yeah,
man.
he played well.
That was
He-
his first, I think, good game he's had as a starter.
Absolutely.
He really, had a little bit of a coming out party right there.
I still say
But-
1A, 1B, man.
Nah, man, it's AB.
Think so?
AB.
Yeah.
Think so? And then that game that is the Monday night game is going to be the Texans at the Ravens. So
Defensive game.
it's
right
going to be
there.
defensive. Yeah, it's going to be
Defensive
straight.
game
Black
right
he's
there,
10
low
and 1
scoring.
in primetime games.
Yep,
so-
yep.
so-
We're gonna see.
And then so moving forward to NBA, the Celtics are still sitting atop their conference, but they dropped that game to the Heat. How do you guys feel about that moving forward? You think they get right back on track? They've won 2 since then.
It was a 16-game winning streak. You
Right.
don't really see that too often.
Right.
You're gonna drop one eventually, and it's usually gonna be one on the road, in a back-to-back. Typically, that's typically how those streaks end. But the man, Kyrie
Still balling, man. Yeah, and
Kyrie,
like you
man.
talked about,
He
man.
is-
After watching him, I'm not even gonna lie to you. After watching him last week, I think it was the Magic game. I think I watched it.
Yeah.
It was one of those games. He is making his
MVP,
yeah.
man.
He's making his run. He's making his run for the MVP candidate. The wins are obviously there. They're
Yeah.
gonna be there. But I just didn't know about his other stats, and he's starting to put some stats together.
Man.
He's a sneaky rebounder too. He's starting to get a couple of rebounds.
He's
some-
proven everyone wrong. Getting traded to the Celtics. A lot of
Right.
people say he can't win by himself.
Right.
He can't do this. He can't do that. He's doing everything that everyone
Yeah.
said he can't do. He's scoring,
That's
rebounding, passing the rock, moving the ball around.
being a mentor,
Right.
playing great defense. This dude is balling, man.
Right, and then the Cavs putting it together in the Eastern Conference as well.
Yeah.
7 straight. So
Yeah.
we talked about
That
you know
is tonight. That
what
is
Brad
tonight.
said his hot take. It's
Relax,
not time
man.
to worry.
That
He
is
said
tonight.
Relax,
he said
man.
RELAX, man. It's never time to worry when LeBron's on your team.
It ends tonight,
So-
though. It ends tonight. Tune in 7:00 Eastern. My Sixers take on my Sixers take on the Cavs, man. It's a
Man,
coming
hey.
out party, man.
Yeah, okay.
Y'all gonna find
Anybody,
out.
anybody worried about Philly?
okay.
It might be a coming
Okay.
out
As long
party.
as y'all stay, look, and also Philly is number 5 right now. They're number
Oh,
5
yeah,
in the
they hooping.
East.
They hooping.
They're
Don't
hooping.
sleep.
They hooping.
So
It's
as long
not
as
gonna be a
as long
coming
as
out
like
party.
we
Y'all
talk
know
about
every time they go against me, they win against me against the Eagles. First episode, they said the Eagles aren't gonna have a good year.
this,
'cause
but
I'm
this
not
ain't the
gonna-
Eagles though. Look, this ain't the
LeBron.
Eagles.
All right,
We
y'all
talking
gonna
about
see,
LeBron.
man.
We talking about LeBron.
LeBron.
We gonna
Look, this
talk-
ain't the
we gonna talk
Eagles.
next week. We gonna
We
talk
talking
next week.
LeBron.
But as long as y'all stay fifth, y'all should be all right, man. Moving forward. So moving on to the Western Conference, man. Rockets. We talked about the
Harden,
Rockets.
bro.
James
Shit,
Harden
it's-
handling business. Chris Paul looks great in that system. They look great together. Something that I personally
I
didn't
didn't
think
think-
was going
yeah,
to work.
I mean,
Wanye
neither.
didn't think it was going to work.
Me neither.
I think Brad said that he could see it working.
Yeah,
but
just because they're 2 superstars.
yeah,
bro.
but I didn't see it working. Those guys are sitting 15 and
Can we
4
talk-
right now.
Can we talk about that Thunder and Warriors game?
Oh
real quick?
yeah, man,
Russ and
that-
KD going at it. I love
Yeah.
it. I
But
love
that
it.
shows, though. I think that shows. I mean, those last couple of games that they've been playing shows
Yeah.
what they can be. Honestly,
Yes.
that Thunder team, man. If they really put it together, that the talent is there. The talent obviously is there.
Yeah.
But we didn't know how they would be able to play together, and the meshing of it was a little bit of a question mark. But those guys, I mean, if they can learn how to put it together, man, I think that'd
And
be.
the
a
Warriors are
problem.
beatable this year. I
Yeah.
think that's what we're
Yes.
finding out.
Yes.
I think a lot of people were figuring that out. The
Nah,
Warriors
I
are
don't know-
beatable
I don't know
this
if
year.
they
Yes,
beat them
I
in the
think
second
so. I
game.
think
We're
they
gonna
got
have
some-
to
I think they got
see
some
it. We're gonna have to
spaces.
see it in a 7-game series.
That's what I'm
But
saying. 7
I'm
games.
still like I really want to say like the Warriors. A lot of people are figuring
In the
them
West?
out. I think so. I think teams like Houston, OKC. I think
Right.
they can give them a run for their money. We're gonna have to see.
I
when
mean,
the
they gonna
playoffs
get.
come.
I mean, they always get a
We're
run
gonna
for their
see.
money.
We're gonna see.
I mean, except for last year, but
we're gonna see.
I don't know, man.
Yeah,
I
one
would say.
surprise for me though, I would say is that Bucks team, man. They're sitting at 9-9 right now, 10th in the
They having
conference.
some problems.
They're
man.
having some
Yeah.
issues.
You saw Giannis get into it with the
Get,
assistant
arguing
coach, man.
with the assistant coach,
There was
yeah,
some
and he was
problems.
getting held back. He was like, I'll mess you up, I'll mess you up. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? People were holding him back. So I don't know what's going on in that locker room, but they've got to
Oh.
put it together. You would think, they added Eric Bledsoe, which they've been playing pretty well together, I think. But that 9-9 record doesn't speak volumes, I think. But Wizards, how do you guys feel about the Wizards?
It's
Man,
the East.
It's the East.
Yeah.
It's the East.
It's the East. It's hard to comment on the East because it's like, everyone kind of.
I like John Wall.
I mean,
John Wall,
the
that's
Pistons are
the
doing
dude.
well.
yeah,
like,
yeah.
John Wall's my dude though,
Yeah,
but
9-9.
like I
man.
said, I think the East is a 2-team race. It's
So before we get
Boston
out of
and
here, guys, we'll kind of switch it right back to NFL really quick. You guys' awards for the end of the year, really quick
Quick
before we get
rundown.
out of here. The
You
little
wanna go
rundown.
first or
Yeah,
me?
We'll go ahead and start that off.
Quick rundown. 'Cause I'm pretty sure we're gonna have some similarities.
Yeah.
I don't want to say it. Wanye was right.
You said what?
Carson Wentz is my
Carson.
MVP right now.
Yep, he is.
Offensive Player of the Year. I'm going to go Carson Wentz. But if I had to give it to somebody else, if he can't win 2 awards, I'll go AB. Defensive Player of the Year, I'm going Calais Campbell, leading the league in sacks. Coach of the Year, let's go Sean McVay. And, Offensive Rookie of the Year, I'm going Alvin Kamara. Deshaun Watson went down. Kareem Hunt slowed down. So I'm going Alvin Kamara for that. Defensive Rookie, Jamal Adams. And Comeback Player of the Year, Jared Goff.
Yes,
That's
sir.
what I got for my
Man,
rundown.
MVP, man. I've been saying this since week 1. Carson Wentz, baby. He's going to keep on rolling. I got Defensive Player of the Year. I got Calais Campbell as well. Offensive Player of the Year, Carson Wentz. I don't care about AB. I don't care about nobody else. Carson Wentz for offense, everything. Offensive Rookie of the Year, Alvin Kamara, like you said, he's balling for the Saints. Defensive Rookie of the Year, Marshawn Lattimore. That man is a lockdown
2
corner.
Saints in those awards,
Yeah,
man.
honestly, man, they're doing their thing. Comeback Player of the Year, Jared Goff's finally looking like a #1 pick. And Coach of the Year, I want to give it to Doug Peterson, man. He's doing his thing in Philly, but I got to give it to Sean McVay, man.
Yeah,
He's
just
turning-
that
he's turning
turnaround.
them-
There you go.
He's
Yeah.
turning them around, man.
Same thing for me, man. MVP Wentz, man. Comeback Jared Goff. Rookie of the Year is going to have to be Kamara. Shout out to the Saints. Marshawn Lattimore for defensive rookie. Coach of the Year, Sean McVay. He changed that team from 4-12, man. You got to give it to him. Offensive Player of the Year, Tom Brady for me, man. I like Tom Brady. And then that defensive Calais Campbell, like you said, leading the league in sacks. So thanks for listening, everybody. Make sure you follow us at 3rd and 30 on Twitter. For Brad Brooks, Wanye Davis, I'm your boy Javon Hubbard, man. Appreciate you listening.
Yes, sir.
Dirty soda and styrofoam. Spill a day to get my mind blown. Dress it up and go to Nassau. 200 miles. Dirty soda and styrofoam. Spill a day to get my mind blown.